Hi, I'm Eileen Roche, founder of Designs and Machine Embroidery. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about stitching multiples and all the challenges that can occur when you're trying to get a perfectly matched set of towels or napkins or pillows, pillowcases, what have you. So if you're, tell us where you're watching from so we can see where everybody is. We're in Dallas, Texas, broadcasting today. And I'm also going to talk about stitching, using our Quick Snap 2.0 on a multi-needle machine. And I know many of you have been asking for some information on how to use the Quick Snap 2.0 and maybe what's the difference between a multi-needle monster and a Quick Snap 2.0. So we'll take a good look at both of those. So hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Stephanie Hardy in Virginia. Hi, Esther up in Canada. Nice to have you here. And Becky in Central Florida. Aloha, Judy Warren. Hi, Diana Atkinson. So nice to have you with us today. You've been doing some beautiful work. I have seen what you've been posting. Just beautiful. And Melissa Brown, you're down in the Texas Hill Country. I love that. So we'll just kind of wait just a few more seconds so that people can come in. I know they always expect to see us here at 1 o'clock on Thursday, and we're excited to share embroidery information every week at 1 o'clock. So stitching multiples, what kind of challenges can that present? Well, I think the goal is to always land the embroidery design in the same location on each of the items in the matched set, right? That's what we want to have when we set our table with beautiful fabric or linen napkins. You most certainly want that monogram to be in the same position on every napkin. And if you make a set of towels, for a new bride or someone with a new home, you want those monograms or the embroidery designs to be consistently placed across all of the items. Because you may have the experience of giving that gift and then later, several months later, you may go and visit that young bride or the new homeowner, and possibly they'll have your towels on display, and if they're, one monogram's crooked and the other one's straight, you'll be horrified. So this, my tips today will get you to make sure that you land all of the embroidery right where you want it. So sometimes, embroiderers ask each other, what did you make today? And I hate it when I have to say, mistakes, right? Do you have days like that where, you spend an awful lot of time in your studio and you wind up just making mistakes? So that's what we're going to try to avoid with our techniques for stitching multiples. And look who's in the house, Salima Jaffer. Hi, Salima. So nice to see you here. Salima is my good friend out in California, and she was a guest here about a month ago. We did the dream panel. Remember the dueling dream panel? So it's nice to see you, Salima. Thanks for stopping in. And Jojo Black in Minnesota. My husband just got back from Minnesota. And let's see, Melissa, you like my top. Do you like my top? That's my hoop dress. I call it my hoop dress because it's, custom printed fabric. It has our logo and all these hoops all over it. It's like one of my faves. So, and the pattern is actually a Nancy Zeman dress pattern from McCall's. Hi, Ain. Nice to have you here, Ain. I know you're so busy, so I'm impressed that you found 10 minutes to pop in and join us here today. So that's great. So why don't we head over? Well, before we do that, let's look at some match sets. Aren't these beautiful? You want them all to match, right? If you give a gift or even for your own home, it's just a lovely presentation when all the items are monogrammed or embroidery designs are just consistent throughout the whole stack. And, look at those stack of sweatshirts. That's a lot of work. And I really think one of the hardest things about embroidery is getting started. It is, the most challenging part, figuring out where to place the embroidery design so that it's in a pleasing location, and then duplicating that step on all of the different items. So when I made a lot of these projects, I really struggled with that. So I teamed up with Deborah Jones this is a long time ago, and we created the Perfect Placement Kit. And the Perfect Placement Kit is our set of 15 different templates that we use to land embroidery on commonly used items. Now, you may wonder how we came up with these templates. Well, actually, that was Deborah, and she did research in the commercial embroidery industry by contacting commercial embroiderers like Land's End and JCPenney, you know, big houses that's all they do all day long is land embroidery designs on sets of multiples. And we found the most common location. And, you know, we also learned that when you are stitching towels, that you should make sure that a hand towels, when folded over a bath towel and hung on a towel rack in a bathroom, that hand towel should not obstruct the monogram on the bath towel. So, you know, you may not think about that, right? Because you're looking at a pile of towels and you just want everything to match. But then in application, when it's really, you know, hanging in someone's home, it can be disappointing if that hand towel is covering the monogram on the bath towel below. And I know in our own homes, sometimes we don't bother so much, right? We don't get so worried about it. Okay, why don't we head over to the Perfect Placement Kit? And I'm going to show you how I would do a stack of 6 towels. Now, these are hand towels with border, and I'll turn this around so you can get a good look at it. You notice that it has a horizontal line along, you know, a little bit from the bottom, and it has a text that says top of border. It has a vertical and horizontal lines that would meet in the middle and create a crosshair. It has a suggested size of a monogram, and on a hand towel, the suggested common size is 2 inches. You know, you may think that sounds kind of small, but one thing you should know about lettering is lettering always appears larger than it actually is. So 2 inches, that number, sounds kind of meager, but actually when stitched, not so bad. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around. So what I've done is I've folded my towels all in half. I have a whole stack here, and you'll see as I go through them. And, you know, I've folded it in half, and now I'm just going to take my hand towel with border template and make sure that the top of border line is positioned right at the top of the border. The vertical line is at the fold. And then I'll just take a target sticker and position it right there. So half of it is actually hanging off the towel. That's fine for right now. What's important is that the crosshair on the target sticker is aligned with the crosshair on the template. And so that one's done. So now we'll just move to the next one. And I'm going to be able to do these 6 towels in just a fraction of a minute. Of course, you know, I'm going to go a little slow so you can watch. And of course, I'm talking. So if you were in your studio doing this yourself, it would be a lot faster. But it's that consistent placement of always having those lines. As long as you can fold a towel, then you can place embroidery just perfectly. Now, you're probably wondering why our hole on the template is square. Well, that's to accommodate the positioning stickers that some machines offer, like the many of the Baby Lock and Brother machines have a feature that recognizes that positioning sticker. So if that's the case, you would place the sticker aligning that horizontal and vertical crosshair with the crosshair on the target sticker and making sure that smaller circle is towards the body of the towel. That's really important because that is that dictates the orientation of the monogram, right? So we want M to really read as M and not W for Wilma. So notice that every time I put these target stickers down, my arrow is pointing up into the body of the towel. And we'll just do the last one, make that fold, and then I am going to open these up and then flatten out that target sticker so that, you know, it doesn't fall off during the hooping process. So there we go. And there we go. And if somebody's timing me, Of course, we have timers on everything now, right at the bottom of the video. But there you have it. There's all 6 towels. Now I can leave my sewing room and come back to this task and maybe do 2 towels, and then maybe come back and do 2 more towels. And I don't have to worry that is the next set of 2 going to match the original set. So that's what I love about the Perfect Placement Kit. It is fast and easy. So let's take a look at napkins, because, you know, that's a popular item to give, especially a new bride, because, you know, they're never going to treat themselves to something like that. And how elegant to have a monogrammed napkin, you know, at each place setting for their first holiday or something like that. So I'm going to take a stack of napkins and then position the napkin on point template. And I just want to make sure that the outside edge is aligned with the hem. Now you may find that that the hem of the napkin is not perfectly square. So just make sure, you know, you do the best you can to center that line within the hem, and that the vertical line is right at that point. And if you do that consistently on each napkin, then you won't have any problem. So here we go. We'll just do these 6, and that's so fast. And then I'll show you a speed technique for hooping these that you're just going to love. And maybe some of you have seen it before. So let's see. Brandy Wilson, you asked if the machine will recognize these stickers. No, the machine does not recognize these target stickers. So what you do is, once you hoop, and well, let's discuss that when we get to the hooping part. How about that? But basically, you're going to move the needle over to the target sticker and just make sure that it's positioned directly over the center of that target sticker. And then you'll be just fine. Now, these are some poorly hemmed napkins, but oh well. Once you get that monogram on, the focus is on the monogram, and nobody will notice that that hem is not a perfect right angle, right? There we go. So best that we can do there. Okay, now we'll move this aside, and now I'm going to use my sticky hoop for this, and I'll take that right here and remove the protective paper. Now remember, this is sticky, so whatever I put on it is going to stick. And the first thing I'm going to do is position one napkin right here in the corner, in the back of the hoop. I call this the back of the hoop. This is the point that's furthest away from you on a Baby Locker Brother machine. This part of the hoop down here is the portion that's closest to you as you are facing the machine. And then you're going to attach this hoop to the machine, and with the navigation keys, you will move the hoop. So the hoop is moving, right? It jogs a little bit, and you want to make sure that your needle is centered directly over that center of that target sticker. And you can even drop down the needle and pierce the target sticker. It won't harm it at all. Now, if you're worried if you're square, use your trace feature to go north and south or east and west on that crosshair, and just make sure as you watch the foot travel across that target sticker, you'll see that the lines continue to be centered within the foot. Okay, so then when you stitch your first one, and then you can take the hoop off the machine, kind of pull that back, and take the second napkin. And you'll position that like so, and repeat the same process. Now, next up, we pull this back, and we add our third napkin. Now, you do have to make sure that, measure the design that you're using. So right now, this would accommodate at least 3, maybe 4 inches, right? And I doubt that you're going to use a larger monogram on a napkin corner such as that. And so as long as, you have equal distance, clearing this napkin behind you, and you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. So as you position your needle over that target sticker and do your trace feature, just make sure that the foot during the trace is not hitting this area. And if it is, we'll just reposition this and pull it down a little bit. That's all. and stitch that one. And then you're going to do the number 4. You'll bring that over, same technique, and stitch that. You can see I can see them because, this is kind of a translucent fabric somewhat. And if it was not, you most certainly can feel it. So make sure that you identify the edge of the previously stitched napkin. And now we're just going to add number 5 and 6. And same thing. Stitch that, pull this back, stitch that one. And, here you have all 6 napkins stitched on our sticky hoop. In, one hooping, you only need 1 piece of stabilizer. And again, this is something, you don't have to do this all at one setting. You most certainly can do the 2 at the back, start them, do that. And then, if you have to drive somebody to soccer practice, go off and do it. And then when you come back, add your next 2. And then add your next 2. And that's how you get through that task pretty easily. Isn't that slick? How would you use this technique on a 6 needle? Addie Washington wants to know. Well, I can show you, kind of, sort of. But you most certainly can hoop sticky stabilizer. For those of you who don't have a sticky hoop yet, will you show us how to hoop them on a large 10 by 14? Yeah, maybe. I have to see what kind of stabilizer I have around here. Yeah, let me get a big hoop. We could do that. I have some big hoops here. This giant one. I'm not going to use the giant one because you know what? It's so big it doesn't even fit underneath the camera. So for this, you would take sticky stabilizer and you would hoop the sticky stabilizer. So you would take an entire piece of sticky and actually hoop it and then tear away. So here I have some sticky here, I hope. Gosh, you never know what's over there on my wall. Okay. This is why you don't do things spontaneously during Facebook Live. But there we go. Okay, so I would hoop this in this fashion. And just place that right down. And then I would score this sticky and peel that away. And then just do the very same thing. Everything the very same position. But, I'm not actually going to do that right now because it's absolutely the same technique. But so we score it from the top and remove that protective paper. And then you have a sticky surface here. So it's just, another way. You most certainly can use sticky stabilizer with a standard monster, a snap hoop monster. You just don't want to put the sticky on the bottom of the hoop. You absolutely want to hoop it and leave that protective paper with, under the frame, right? That's how we would do that, okay? And then on a multi-needle hoop, I can kind of show you that because I was just about to show the difference. And I only have a 5x7 right here on my table this afternoon, but same idea, really the same idea. So again, you would hoop your sticky stabilizer and then you would work from the back of the hoop. So this is the back of the hoop in this position. And so first napkin would go here, second one would go there, and possibly you'd get 3 across depending on how you're doing it. Now you have to control all the napkin body that's back, behind the needles. And then you just add the next one. So that's simple. It's really simple. Okay. I'm going to go over see if you have any, what is different about the sticky hoop? Well, what's different about the sticky hoop is it doesn't have a top, so it's it's more economical to purchase, and it does not have suede on the bottom of the metal because sticky stabilizer will always be on the bottom of the hoop. And if you apply sticky stabilizer to the bottom of a monster hoop that has that protective suede on it, you'll ruin the suede. So we don't ever suggest that you use sticky stabilizer on the bottom of a snap hoop monster. You can hoop it, like I just showed you with the magnetic frame on top. So Can you can use sticky backing with any hoop. Annabelle Christian, you sure can. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, it is fun to be able to stitch multiples with that method. So fast, Betty. It really is so fast. That's what I love about that. Definitely. Let's see. Okay, I think we're kind of caught up on questions. So what I'd like to show you now is, well, first, let's take a look at the special. You know, the Perfect Placement Kit is on special this week. It's $39.99 instead of its normal $49.99 plus free shipping. So use that promo code and take advantage of it. This is a product that you will buy once and you will be so grateful you have it in your sewing room, in your embroidery studio, because I use it all the time. It's just fast and it's dependable, and you get predictable results that are professional looking, and I love it. And I'm sure many of you do too. It's been our bestseller for many, many years. And kudos to Deborah Jones for doing that. Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so now let's take a look at multi-needle hoops. We get lots of questions about our multi-needle hoops. So first, we'll just talk about the multi-needle, the Snap Hoop Monster. And the Snap Hoop Monster has 2 points of attachment, right? So when I say that, I have this on, never mind. Let's go over the overhead cam. Okay, so it has 2 points of attachment. So that means it's going to slide into the arms of your multi-needle machine, right? So here's my A arms, and this hoop would attach right into those A arms, just slides right in there. And I guess I could do that. I probably could have had that already done for you. Oh, well, it's set for a 4x4, but you get the drift, right? You know how this is. Now, you can, so when you use the multi-needle Monster, you have 2 options on how to use this. It was originally designed to put the magnetic frame underneath the metal so that you could use it to take advantage of the tubular ability of the machine. So a t-shirt could hang loose underneath, and the throat of the machine, you know, comes underneath here. And we're going to go over to the machine in a minute, and you'll get a better idea of what I mean. But we've also learned that when you're not using a tubular item, if you're using a flat item like a terry cloth towel or a quilt sandwich or, you know, something of that fashion, then you most certainly can put the magnetic top on top of the frame, just in this position, just like you would a single needle machine. So either way is correct. It really depends on the task at hand. Okay? All right. So you're probably wondering why I have my arms off, right? Why do I have my arms off? Well, I took this off because I want to show you our Quick Snap 2.0. So let's go ahead and take that box, bring it up under the camera so that you can see it. So this is kind of a big box, and I'll just kind of pull this table down a little bit so you get a better view. And it has 3 frames in there. So it has a 2x8, a 4x8, and a 5.5 by 8 inches. And so just so you know, at Dime and in most places, the first digit that is in a measurement is the width, right? So 2 inches means that's the width, and the 8, of course, is the length. And you could see that clearly because you have an image of it here. So what's in the box? Well, foam. And then here's your set. So we have a magnet shield. We have our frame. This is the 5.5 by 8. And here is your bottom frame. Now you'll notice that it is a little different, right? This does not have the 2 points of attachment like our multi-needle hoop did. So that's because I'm going to take off the arms of my machine and put this in its place. So it also has a nice little skinny one. So what would you use this for? Maybe socks, maybe a small sleeve on, you know, a child's garment, or just lettering that's nice and small. You'll also notice this device, which is a extender. Now, this printed material here, you will actually peel off, and that is protecting a kind of smooth, shiny surface underneath. You'll see when we move over there. So why don't we go ahead and take a look over there, and you can see what I've done over here at the machine. So I have my, this is the 4-inch wide by 8-inch wide frame in place. And it is attached to the machine, and I know you can't see it. These things are so hard to show on camera. But normally, you know, my arms would be coming out here. And that's what I removed. And I used the same screws that hold my arms in place to attach the metal frame to the pantograph. And I have loosened the screws in the needle plate so that I can slide this extender underneath the needle plate. And here, I'll bring that over so you can get a better look. So there are grooves here in right here. There is this black line that you see is actually beveled so that the metal plate will slide right into that beveled area, and it lifts the plate up just a very small fraction, not this whole dimension, just a small part of it. And it just gives a little wider surface for this frame to sit on, because if you add something that's like a little heavy to it, you know, it's going to want to bow down. So that's what this is here for. So what would you use this for? Well, sleeves are one great thing. Any tubular item. So here's an army jacket that we're going to do the sleeve. So first thing we always have to do is control all that weight, right, of the garment. So I'm sliding this sleeve over top, and I have all this bulk here. So we want to make sure that's not hanging off the table. So I have pushed it underneath the machine, but it's sitting on the table and not dragging off the table. That's really important. Okay, and I have already attached my fusible no-show stabilizer to the wrong side of the garment. And there we go. Let me just make sure that's all smooth in there. Maybe I didn't fuse it properly. I do things pretty quickly for these videos, but I do want to make sure it's one layer. Okay. And then I just want to get it up on here. Something's giving me a little trick here. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then we take our top. Now, I'll tell you, if I try to put this on just like this, you know, it might fight me a bit. You could try like that, but, you know, the fabric's probably going to stretch and so forth, and you might not be pleased with that technique. So if it's giving you a little bit of trouble, then keep the magnet shield in place, position the garment how you want it, and then take your shield with the magnet on top of it and just kind of line it up, right? You can feel that metal frame underneath, and then slide that shield out, and now it's, you know, nicely aligned. I can still move it a little bit if I need to. Now, of course, the machine is not recognizing this hoop. The machine thinks you have the 8x12 on, so you most certainly have to do a trace feature. You know, use the trace feature and keep your eye on it and make sure that lowered needle is showing you the sewing field. So as long as you're clearing this frame, you are good to sew. If not, then use your jog keys up here and move that hoop, right? You can hear that just jogging along, right? So that you can make sure you're not going to hit the frame. You know, that's one of the, you know, when you upgrade, right, to a 10 needle, you have to embroider responsibly. You have to know the limits of the hoops that you're using. You have to know to navigate on your machine screen, because all those features are right there for you. Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Pam, you love the extender so that you don't have to use the big acrylic table made for the machine. Well, I love the acrylic table, believe me. And I do a lot of, you know, heavy stuff, quilt sandwiches, big towels, and so forth. So I love that acrylic table for that. But when you have the acrylic table on, you can't do anything tubular. You can't do a t-shirt. You can't do, you know, a tote bag, something that you, or a sleeve like I just did, something that you want to hang underneath the throat. So yeah, everything has its function, right? Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. What other questions do we have? And you love your dime hoop for your 10 needle. I know we love them too. And actually, I wanted to show you a comment that two of our customers left on our page, which I just thought was so lovely. And it's so nice when people leave reviews on our product, and we don't pull them down. So, you know, if there's bad ones, they're there. And everybody, of course, has a personal experience. But, you know, truth be told, most of them are really great. And Pollyann in February, she loves it. The hoops are strong, and yet they're easy to use. Easy to use. You know, you don't want to make it so difficult that it's a challenge, or you have to get somebody with really strong hands to help you separate hoops and so forth. That's no fun, right? That's no fun. We're supposed to be having fun with this. Definitely. And this was a while ago. So in 2020, Rainey Brown, she purchased it. And at the time, it was only offered in 2 sizes. So, you know, it does definitely pay for itself in time that you will save, for sure. Isn't that fun? So any other questions about that? Andrea, if you missed some of this, you most certainly can, after we're done, and we'll be done fairly shortly, you can go back and watch the rebroadcast and, you know, fast forward to the part that you missed. So don't worry about it. I know many of you have been working on your small town charms. And if you don't know about the small town charms, I'm just going to give you a quick run through. Every month, the last Thursday of the month, we provide a free design to all of you, and it's available on our website. Then in January, we did a quilt shop. Now, these are all made in the hoop, and they're offered in 2 sizes, 5x7 and 7x12. And it's a nod to small town businesses all over America, because it's been a tough year, right? So anyway, we just want them to throw a little love at them. And February was a sweet shop. Why not, right? Perfect time of year for that. And a dress shop in March. April saw the flower shop with those pretty blooms. Aren't they lovely? Now, those awnings, if you don't know, they're 3D, and they have a pipe cleaner in the bottom above the scallop that keeps their shape. May was an outdoor cafe, 2 stories and an awning. We're getting a little, you know, little excited here. And then many people love this. Many people have said this is their fave, the town hall. And then last month, this month in July, it was Scoop's Home of the Giant Cone. Why not? Because ice cream, right? In July, so fun. And that featured our microprint fabric pack, which comes in that pretty pink and orange and the navy in both a buffalo plaid and a polka dot. So we found one small town charm this week that we had not found the week before. So we thought we would share that with you. And please, if you're making our charms, add the hashtag #DimeSewAlong so that we can find them on social media and share them with you. So Donna Branton, she did cool scoops. I like big scoops, and I cannot lie. Well, now that song is in everybody's mind for the day, I think, right? Isn't that fun? So next week, I hope you'll join me here. We'll be back at 1 o'clock Central Time, and it was so great to visit with you all today. And remember, do the Dime Sew Along, the Small Town Charm, and post your Dime Sew Along. You know, post your Small Town Charm with the hashtag. Linda Burke, will anyone from Dime be at the quilt show in Temple, Texas this weekend? No, nobody from the company. There could be a dealer that will be representing us, Linda, but thank you for asking. And I hope you enjoy the show. If you go, that would be exciting. I know some shows are starting to come back up, and people are happy to get out and visit. So mahalo so much. Same to you, Judy. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.